Good morning. I am John Carter, bringing you another episode. This is broadcast number 123 for the Kringle Cash System and spreading the wealth of TBC and free energy. This morning, I want to speak about turning water into wine. Many of us, we have the water, but we don't seem to be turning it into wine. And everybody likes the wine better than just water. But for some reason, most people, most of the population out there gets by on just the water instead of turning it into wine. Turning water into wine was the first miracle that is portrayed to us in the New Testament. And as I have often mentioned before, how the Bible, what its actual purpose was, why it was put into book form, you see these scripts that were mostly used to form the Bible into a book were ancient scripts that had been written by various various Jews who had deep understandings, and they may not even have all been Jews, but for some reason it seems the Jews are more as if they are a people that have had written materials more than others as to spiritual understandings about life. And now in the first miracle in the Bible that is described to us, where Jesus turns water into wine, we can go through this and get a little deeper understanding about it. And so the thing is, we all have plenty of water, and we could just look at that and at that of life just simply happening as we go, and it just sort of presents itself. It's just water. But how do we turn it into wine? How do we turn it into the life that we can truly enjoy? How do we turn this tasteless life of poverty that is basically just kind of happening to us? How do we begin creating it ourselves and turn it into a wonderful tasting wine, a wine that we can truly enjoy? And so I want to just give us a little bit of an understanding on that this morning, because when we do this, that is, as we can see from that miracle, that the people, when they tasted the wine, some of their comments was like, wow, most of usually at parties, the best tasting wine is first served until people are kind of drunk, and then is the other wine. So if we look at this picture of how that went, first of all, Jesus and his disciples, they were all invited. They were all invited to this feast. So this feast of life, this feast of our daily experience, uh, Jesus is invited, and all of the disciples. You know, the your mental capacity, your understanding of reality, of spiritual understanding, how life works, and all of the apostles, or should we say the disciples, which are all the mental uh, you know, capabilities of thinking and implementing your thoughts into your daily experience of in life, is all invited to this experience, uh, this party, this how could we say, let's put it into a bit of an image form here. A carpenter, a person who makes furniture, he gets this beautiful picture of a, oh, how should we say it? What's it called? A commode? What's a commode? What's a beautiful piece of furniture that you put dishes in or whatever? What's it called? Oh, apparently it's called a hutch or whatever. I'm not extremely knowledgeable about names of furnitures, but all right. So this carpenter, he gets in his mind this picture of this beautiful hutch, but it's only water. It's only water at this point. He hasn't proceeded anything yet to turn it into wine. It's only water. Yes, it's there. It has, you know, he's thinking about it, and he has not proceeded figuring out the details of, you know, he just has this image in his mind. It's only water, right? It's the water of a more enjoyable piece of furniture that you could truly enjoy if you would turn it into wine. But then he brings to the party all of his disciples, the master thinker, and all of the disciples all are invited to the party, and they go over, in their mind, they go over the details of how this is going to look, how well it's going to serve the purpose, and how wonderful the person who's going to use it, how much they're going to enjoy the looks of it, the quality of it, and its purpose, that it's going to be serving. And it's a wonderful picture. It's great. So now he goes to work, and he makes each piece, he puts it all together, and he's got the wine. He's made the wine. That is the actual basics explanation of how you can turn water into wine. We do this all the time. The question is, how, to what scale are we taking this? If we in our mind, we have this idea of how life could be, you know, how I would like a better life. I would like to have plenty of money. I would like to not be stuck in this debt-based economy, and I would like to have a much better economy. That is basically water, until you go and put it into action and create the wine. And when you have the wine, it is so much better. It is the taste of it is so much better than just, as we mentioned earlier, that normally the best tasting wine is served first. Then when people are, once they get a little drunk, then the wine that hasn't really turned out that great is served. But what are we doing here? We are turning this water into the best tasting wine. When we're only using the wine that has been, that has been created by others, that's not so good, that is the sort of wine where we ride along, and we just kind of take life as it's been handed to us. It doesn't have much flavor. It's not really that great. Besides, notice also that they're already drunk. They're already not clear in their mind. We already don't know what really is going on in the world. Our minds have already been clouded, and we don't really know what's going on. And so we just kind of drink the wine that is made available to us, and just sort of move on. Folks, that is not a life we can truly enjoy. A life we can truly enjoy is when we turn the water into wine. There is plenty of water. There's plenty of water. Now, I know that in some areas in the world, water has been made scarce. Is it because there isn't plenty? No, there is plenty. There's plenty, but it has been made scarce. And the scarcity comes from the mental capacity of scarcity. When we have a mindset of scarcity, we're going to live in scarcity. It's really that simple. If water is as far as we can get with our mental capacity, then that's all we're going to experience in our life. But if we can use our mental powers to turn that water into wine on the spiritual plane, then we will enjoy the fruits of that wine in physical form. So when you want to turn water into wine, invite your understanding. Invite Jesus. Invite your understanding about how life works. Invite your understanding to the water. The water is that which there is plenty of. Another verse in the Bible gives it to us this way. It says that love is first pure. Love is first pure. Now, as far as if we want to get some scientific understanding about that, then we can say it this way, that when the consciousness enters your mind, it is first pure. It is all powerful, but it doesn't have any shape or form or anything. It just is. It just is. It's without shape, it's without form, and there is plenty of it. There is absolutely no limit to how much there is. And this is raw power of mind. This is raw power of mind. When it enters your consciousness, it is. It's not negative. It is not positive. It just is. Your mind, with your thinking, as you invite the master thinker of your own capabilities and all his disciples, all of the ideas that come to you as you contemplate on the wine, on that beautiful, good tasting wine of the end result, as you contemplate on that, that is when this raw, unlimited power turns into the wine that you will enjoy. And once you have it fixed in your mind, once you have this piece of furniture or this life that you want to live, once you have the taste of that wine in your mind and you hold it in your mind, you are then by compulsory, you are compelled to take the actions that it takes to have that turned into physical form. As you hold the image of the end result in your mind, you are compelled to take the right steps to turn that water into wine. For those of you who are watching this video and you have at some point signed up with TBC, you saw at that point, you saw the value, you saw the excuse me, you saw the wine that TBC could become. But then as some of that water seemed to look a little muddy because of some of the obstacles that TBC was facing in 2017, maybe you have written it off in your mind and say, well, that's doesn't look like that'll ever turn into wine. But let's look at this realistically, folks. You've got to understand, nobody can make your wine for you. Nobody. It will stay water until you turn it into wine. You see, most people, they tend to, and that's with reason. I will give you a little bit of that as well. But most people, they have this idea that it's the government's job to give me the wine that I want. You can never expect anyone else to hand the wine to you. You've got to turn it into wine. There's plenty of water. There's plenty for you. But if you want wine, it's up to you to turn it into wine. No one can do this. No one can do this for you, not even if you wanted to. It's not going to taste right. Your own DNA is coded in the entire universe. No one can do this for you. Now, but this is what is so beautiful. We all have the capacity to do it. Every single person has the capacity to turn the water that exists, the water that enters their consciousness, into wine. Love is first pure. Love is first pure. Consciousness, when it enters your mind, just is. It isn't negative. It isn't positive. It just is. And it has no limits of its capability. Has no limits. Therefore, you can use the consciousness as it enters your mind, invite the master of the feast, invite the master understanding of your own mind, invite all of the disciples, all the mental capabilities of figuring out everything that you need to do, and engage them all. Engage them all. That does not mean that you have to now sit down and figure out every detail on the spiritual plane how you're going to do it. No, no. This is much simpler than that. All you have to do is hold the image of what you want. We want an economy. We want the economy replaced. The current economy is, we all know, is just water that does really not taste that great. But we want wine. We want great tasting wine. Well, then we need to enjoy the taste of that wine. We need to enjoy seeing all those jugs filled. We need to see them all filled with water, or in this case, TBC. And we need to see the world, the entire party. We need to see in our mind how people everywhere in the world are saying, wow, this wine is better than anything I've ever tasted. Usually, the best wine is served first, but this time, the best wine has arrived later, and there is so much of it. And we see everybody in the party, they're making comments about this great wine, about how much they enjoy the new economy that TBC has brought about. That, ladies and gentlemen, when you hold that image in your mind with the intention that you want to participate in turning this water into wine, then you will be led to do all the right actions, all the right steps to make it happen in your world. In your world. Jesus is the Savior of the world. What world? Your world. Your Jesus, your own understanding is your Jesus that has come to save your world. Your world. Every one of us, we can save. We can invite the master thinker, the master understanding with all his disciples and save the world. Create the wine from this raw water that has no taste. There is plenty of it, and we can create it turn it into wine. All right, let's acknowledge those who, Christina, thank you so much for tuning in this morning. I appreciate it. very much that you're here. Susan Harder, thank you so much for tuning in as well. I truly appreciate all of you. You guys. Jacob, thank you for tuning in. And there is Marjorie, thank you for moderating again. We have a total of 4, so I guess that's everybody today. Now, for those of you who are watching this video and you have and you want that wine as well, and maybe you already are in TBC, because many people are, and maybe you're still on the old. Well, you can't be on the old system anymore because the old system has been shut down. But the coins in your wallet, in the old wallet, even though the system is shut down, you can still move those coins to the new wallet, and the steps are in the links below is where you can find the steps to do this in order to migrate your coins to the new system. And for those of you who are looking to create this new economy, let me encourage you, don't sit back and expect some government or others to bring you the life that you will truly enjoy. That doesn't mean, I'm not by that saying that you couldn't possibly enjoy the economy of TBC at some point. What I'm saying here is that you will lose out on the joy of turning the water into wine in your own world. You will lose out on the tremendous joy of the party. The tremendous joy of the party. There is great joy when you understand how that water was turned into wine. When you understand the power of the water before it was made into wine, and then how, when it becomes wine, how great that wine truly tastes. So let me invite you, if you are watching this video and you're not in TBC, use the information under the video and come aboard. Help us create that beautiful economy. We pretty much know we would have to be extremely ignorant about the economy not to know that it is basically falling apart. I know it's getting propped up as much as they can. These you know, the banking cartel and all, they don't want it to fall apart, because if it all falls apart, humanity will desperately look for a better way. But if we as humanity just simply use the better way that has already, you know, the tool that has already been created for us to change our own water into wine, if we just use it, then we can already create this new economy. And when the current economy does fall apart, it'll be that much easier to just plug the new one in and away we go. It's really not that difficult, folks. It really isn't. So thank you so much for watching this video. And if you want to be free from the slavery of the debt-based system, then TBC is here to replace it. For those of us who understand, let us build the image of the new economy and hold that image in our mind. Hold that image in our mind. And that will cause us to take the right action to truly turn this water into wine. Thank you so much for watching, and I want to wish all of you a wonderful day or night or whatever it is that's ahead of you. Thank you again, and God bless.